I'm Victoria. I'm a disability claims specialist, and today I'm going to be going over 12 questions you should be asking a disability lawyer when considering hiring them. You're going to want to ask the lawyer that you're having a consultation with how much experience they actually have with your case type. It's really pertinent to know that they actually have worked with one of those claims before, because you don't want to be the one that has the hindrance of having them to catch up or make mistakes on your case because they're not familiar with your claim type. So a follow-up question would be, what type of experience do you have with this specific type of disability claim? If they do say they have had experience with disability claims in the past. Another good question to ask is how much experience a lawyer actually has practicing in law. Now, this is not a very important question in the sense that it might make up your mind exactly on whether or not they're the lawyer for you, because someone who's been practicing law for a long time may be stuck in their ways and they might not be the right fit for you. But it's good for you to have an overall picture of how long they've been in practice and what their knowledge scope is actually. Now, to be aware, if you don't really like their answer or you feel like you didn't receive enough information, you can always do your own research online by looking up the practice and also looking up the lawyer through reviews and through the Law Society. A good question to ask is how much of their practice is actually dedicated to disability claims and appeals. This is important because it gives you an overall idea of whether it's more of a general practice and they're just taking on a few cases, or this is actually one of their niche areas that they're actually getting good at. A good follow-up question once you've received your answer on this is to ask them how many cases they actually currently have on their docket. This will give you a better idea of how many other individuals are actually hiring them, and maybe they can even tell you their actual closing rate. An important thing to understand and truly be clear on while you're interviewing the lawyer is to be sure to ask if they're actually the lawyer that's going to be assigned to your file. Now, a lot of the time they have lawyers doing consultations and they might not be the actual ones assigned to your file. So while you're asking all these questions we've already gone over, you might be getting the answer to the wrong individual. So make sure that you clarify if they're the ones that are going to be assigned to your file, and if not, ask and follow up on those past questions we've already reviewed with regards to the ones that will be actually assigned to your claim. One of the most critical things to understand and to be clear on when you're interviewing lawyers for a representation is what their exact fee structure is for hiring them. Would they be charging you a flat fee? Will it be an hourly fee? Will it be a contingency fee basis? These are all very important to be clear on. Make sure that you actually understand before you sign off on any representation. Most practices will be more than willing to provide you with a draft copy of the agreement. This way you can go over all the information and come back with any follow-up questions that you may have with regards to the contents within it. If ever there is something that you don't understand, make sure you're really clear, because you don't want to sign off before you've confirmed and understood that you agree to everything within the actual agreement. You're going to want to make sure that you clarify with the individual you're thinking to hire whether or not they actually ever adjust their fees based on longevity of the case, unexpected circumstances, or whatever it may be. Some unexpected circumstances that could be a reason for fees being changed could be that they took on another case that they may be handling for you, and that case has resulted in a lien on your other case. It could be the longevity of it being cut short or running very long. It could be very many factors. So it's one thing you want to be very clear on before signing off on representation is if anything unexpected comes up, or for whatever reason you need your fee adjusted, is that something they actually would do, or is it very cut and dry, the fee that you've signed off on? Some firms will actually evaluate these things. They'll evaluate how much work was actually done on the case versus the fee that they've charged. This is called a fair fee agreement. Not everyone does this, so be aware this is not the standard. If ever you're unsure if the fee is fair, you can always have the Law Society review your fee agreement and the charges that you're receiving. One thing to give you a better understanding of how long your case may actually take is to ask them what their average case turnaround time is. Now, not all firms will actually have this mapped out or know for certain, but they'll have a general range, so then you have an actual idea and an expectation set that maybe your range would be, let's say, from 1 month to a year, or maybe that's even further. A typical case takes 2 years. It's better for you to know ahead of time and have a better understanding of how quick cases turn around within this firm before you actually hire them. Another thing to consider asking them is if they would actually suggest that you receive full representation for this type of claim, or do they have a one-off type service that they would suggest for you instead that would better fit your scenario. Some firms actually offer these one-off services. So for example, you might not need all the help at this point, but you just need a review of your application you've already completed, and you just want a second set of eyes on it. And they have a service that will review this application for you. Maybe that's the best fit for you at this time. So make sure that you're aware of all services and that you actually ask them what's the better fit for you given the current circumstance you're in. Another really important thing to ask when you're looking to hire someone is how they'll actually handle your case. This might vary firm to firm and lawyer to lawyer, so this is something you're going to want to be clear on so you have a better understanding who's the right fit for you. This will also give you a better understanding of the actual process. So get them to go over the actual process of what it would look like if they handled your claim, from start to finish even if they could, or just at least a general overview. It could be that you are going to have to go through certain levels of appeal. It could be that there's a trial. It could be that there's a mediation. And it's better for you to understand how long each of those steps take if they can better give you an example of what those processes look like, so you understand what you're getting in hiring representation and what an actual process is in taking on a disability claim like this. Just be sure to ask any follow-up questions to make sure that you're really clear on how they're going to handle your claim and how long the actual process takes. There could be court appeals, there could be submissions, hearing briefs, time to actually put in for writing those briefs. So make sure that you're truly understanding the full scope of the process. You want to be clear on how often you'll be receiving updates and how those updates will be given. You want to be sure and understand on what their expectation is of you. Are you going to be having to communicate with them on a regular basis? How regular does that need to be? A weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? What is it that you are responsible for communicating to them? And what are they responsible in communicating to you? And how frequent are they going to be contacting you? You're going to want to be sure on how you're actually supposed to be speaking with them and how they're supposed to be speaking with you. Is it going to be regularly via telephone, via email, video conference, in person? These are all things that you might have a certain expectation based on. So if you can better understand ahead of time how that's going to operate with the specific firm and lawyer, then you can make a better decision on which firm and which lawyer is the best suited to you. Make sure you're clear as well if you're going to be contacting the actual lawyer on the file on a regular basis, or if it's someone else within the firm that you should be contacting. Sometimes, and most often, you'll actually have a legal assistant, paralegal, or case manager actually assigned to your file, and they'll be your main point of contact when reaching out to the firm. One of the last questions I suggest asking to a lawyer when you're actually interviewing them to potentially hire them is if for whatever reason you didn't decide to hire them for your claim, if they had a referral to someone else that they might suggest for your claim representation. Now, to be clear, they won't always have another referral because it's possible that they don't have someone in the area that you live in that they trust and know that they can refer you to. It could be that they just don't know anyone that's in that practice area, or they could have someone that you can then go ahead and interview to compare notes. And lucky for you, you have these questions and you can start back at square one and start through the list so you can compare pros and cons to both and contrast to each other. These 12 questions are just a generic set that I suggest you always ask, but it doesn't mean that they'll be all the questions you should be asking when interviewing a lawyer. You may have some other questions that pop up through these interviews. Make sure you jot them down if the lawyer's in process of explaining something else so that you don't forget to ask them. And you want to make sure that you foolproof this hiring process, that you fully understand what it is you're getting into, what the expectations are, how long the process is going to take, and make sure that you know that you've heightened your chances at success by making the right choice for you. I hope this video has helped answer some questions for you so that you can better prepare asking questions to better hire the right person for you on your disability claim journey. There are many more videos like this that might be able to help you through this journey as well. You should like, subscribe, and hit that little bell button on here if you want to learn more and stay up to date on potential ways that you can heighten your chances of success with your CPP disability claim.